I was late again to work today. And it's not like by 5 or 10 minutes. Today was like 14 minutes. Yesterday, 17. The day before that, 18 minutes. Day before that, on time. Day before that, 5 minutes. Um, I'd be late. I'm late. I never tell people up front because, yes, I work hard. Yes, I work more than others, and I'll do the work. I always, if there's ever something that can make a flow of work easier, I'll always volunteer myself. Just to allow things to flow, I'll always volunteer myself. But I'm going to be late. So I was telling that to someone, and this is the second time I've been in a conversation with someone. And the first time I had that was when I was working at the sheriff's department, and this lady came up to me, and she works in a similar, walk through a spider web, and it's in the next department over, and she was telling me that, oh my gosh, I just hate when people are late. It just irks me, and I just dislike it. And I was like, okay, cool, that's a preference or whichever. And I kept quiet after that. She was just like, I have the right to be, because it's just it just gets on my nerves, and I feel like it's selfish. And I understood what she was saying. She said that she just doesn't like it, and I also don't like things as well. And so I'm just hearing her out, and I just begin to tell her, like, okay, but there's also people out there that are overweight. This was a large woman, and beautiful, by the way, but this was a large woman, and I was just saying, but there are things that they can do, because she started suggesting to me that there's things that I could do, that I can make sure that I leave early. There's things that I can get my things ready before I actually leave, or get my things ready the night before. I can make sure I'm always leaving a significant amount of time to account for traffic and things like that. And I'm just like, yeah, these are common things that I already know what to do. If it's a chronic issue, then these are things I've already, attempted and made sure that I've accounted for, so that I can leave where I'm at home and then get to wherever it is I'm going. Even when I teach CPR, and these are my classes, and I'm working for a company, I'm not working for my actual daily job. This is my form of second income, and I'm late there too. And it is just terrible. I remember sharing that a lot of times I believe that I'm moving so fast because my thoughts are moving so fast. My thoughts in my mind are so rapid, and I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And even yesterday, I was ready by 5:21. I got to be at work by 6 o'clock. The time to get from one place to another is 29 to 32 minutes in the morning, and that traffic. And yet I started looking for not just a bottle of water, but something to pour in that bottle of water and then be able to drink it on the way to work. Then it turned out to be 5:45. I was like, oh my gosh. I spent all that time just looking for the powder to pour inside of my water. And I didn't realize it was that time. Yeah, I was looking frantically for it, but that's where I went wrong, thinking that what I was doing, because I was in a haste, doesn't necessarily mean that time stopped and waited for me. It kept going. And so that's contributed to me again now getting to work late. So, but here's the point. This is a lady who is largely overweight, yet she dislikes, and it irks her to be around people to be around people like myself who are late. And I kept quiet so that she can have the opportunity and the freedom to be able to share what it is that she doesn't like, and just begin to explain how it makes her feel and why she doesn't like it. It makes her feel like that person is selfish, and they're not thinking about the commitment or honoring the time that they said that they would meet up. So what happened was I began to relate what was obvious. Man, you could also just choose to eat less. Ma'am, you could also choose to start walking. You could also choose to get on an exercise regimen that is daily so that you could lose weight. I could also say that I dislike people that are overweight. And what I said was what about people who are overweight? They also have a choice. But being overweight, to me, to all intelligible people on earth, is an umbrella. And underneath that, to all intelligible people, educated people, we all know that there is more than one reason why people are overweight, or even just the weight that they do not like. They eat too much. They eat too late. They don't eat healthy things. They don't eat throughout the day, but then they eat large portions, or eat too late, or all of those things at one point in time. For those people that do the 1 meal a day, there is more than one reason why someone could be like, it could be genetics, and you can't have certain ingredients in your diet because it's going to stay on you longer than someone else. You don't have any metabolism, or your metabolism is low. There are many reasons. So for her to ignore that, but then have this dislike for certain people, then because she was talking to me and I was able to relate, and I was able to identify as one of those people, I am constantly chronically late, which I understand why someone would not like that, because they could share the same reasons that she does. And I've rarely been in the position to where I'm waiting for someone, because I'm always chronically late. But also, she should also look at herself. It could also be disgusting to be in the presence of someone and you're always finishing your food, asking for someone else's food, eating food on the way to go get food, eating large portions. Maybe how is having dessert? Like, it wouldn't even make sense. Why are you having dessert when this is something that you yourself shouldn't be doing? You know what I mean? So whichever. I could also judge. I could also take note of the things that she is doing and contributing to her particular state, and then just have dislike about that. But I just think that these are all a choice. I think that we should all keep in mind that we are all doing something that we might not necessarily like. And so when somebody else is doing something and they express that they don't necessarily like it, doesn't necessarily mean that they're unintelligible, that they are irresponsible. It very well could be irresponsible, but there are some things and habits that put us all in the same boat. That's just one other classification that I feel like is similar to being late all the time. What about people who steal all the time, lie all the time, always laugh at things that aren't at the wrong time? You know, these are things that I feel like are way more specific than being overweight and being chronically late, because it might not necessarily have many things that contribute to that state, but it's a choice. Anybody choosing to not like somebody that because they are, and yes, I'm advocating. This is me advocating because I identify as someone who's chronically late. This is me advocating. So anybody choosing to not like somebody because they are chronically late, check yourself. There's also something that you are doing that where somebody could just choose not to. But you're someone who always like to cut corners. You're somebody who always like to do not follow the rules and do things your own way. Some people don't like people like that. You always got to take your food to the movie theater. You always got to meddle in somebody's business. You always got to hear the tea. You always got to share your business while somebody is in the presence of sharing theirs. We all have those characteristics. So, man, if anybody dislikes you because of some character that you have, even if you don't like it as well, man, check them.